Man, we only 2 episodes in the show Welcome to Derry. And I must say, if it keep this up, Andy Muschietti might just be directing the best TV show ever. Let's talk about it. What's going on? It's Trey here, and since you found me, you might as well go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like for more content. And like I mentioned, we are diving into Welcome to Derry. This show is directed by the director of the 2 remakes from 2017 and 2019, Andy Muschietti. We are 2 episodes in, and I must say I'm loving what I'm seeing. But I've also got notes. Let's talk about what works, what's shaky, and where this prequel could really shake things up. So Welcome to Derry is a prequel set in 1962, 27 years before the 2017 timeline. Bill Skarsgård is set to return in the show, along with Andy Muschietti and his team steering the ship. And this show is a total of 8 episodes being released weekly on HBO Max. So I'm going to be talking about both episodes, episode 1 and episode 2 that we have thus far in this video. And starting with episode 1, here's a quick overview. Episode 1 doesn't hold back at all. It jumps out the gate and letting you know this show not coming to play. This episode ends up with a road trip gone wrong, and that lets you know Derry is sick at the root. It's a sequence that looks like a 60s mundane Americana before mutating into pure nightmare. And it immediately reestablishes that in Derry, normal life is a mask that slips fast. And also we meet threads with different characters that will matter. We have Leroy Hamlin, a Air Forceman. He is arriving at a local base and getting hit with small town hostility. You have your kids in this episode, Lily, Marge, and Teddy, and as well other kids sensing things are off. You have voices and songs tying to the sewers that's letting you know Derry is going back to its old root. For me, what works in episode 1, I must say first and foremost, it's definitely the 1960s world building. The production design, the costumes, the signage, the cars, as well as the color grade. It all feels tactile. There's sunny Norman Rockwell gloss that makes every intrusion of horror pop even harder. The tone and the atmosphere as well, like I mentioned, is not holding back and is letting you know within the first 5 minutes what you finna run into. The show plays the long game, lingering in kitchens, hallways, and rain-sleet streets until the uncanny bleeds in. This episode is more or less about jump scares, more sense about the town itself is hunting you, and also the horror imagery. Episode 1 throws a couple brazen, sticky images that tells you that this series is willing to get weird and grotesque early. And if you've seen it, you know exactly what sequence I'm talking about. And that audacity there sets a ceiling for how far this show can go later on. Next, I'm going to get into some of my neutral thoughts, some that could pretty much go either way. Starting out, it's a big assembly, you can tell. And also, it's many threads. The plot starts out introducing a lot of moving parts. Multiple kids, family subplots, the military angle, the townspeople, etc. And that ambition there could pay off. But it also risks diluting focus if the writers don't start tightening lanes quickly. And another one is going to be measured scares. The pilot focused mood over actual scares. But me, I'm good with that. But some viewers might want a clearer, earlier line to Pennywise's hand in all this. But for me, some things that doesn't work yet. In episode 1, I would say kind of the story cohesion. As a standalone hour, episode 1 can feel scattered. Powerful scenes that don't always connect cleanly. It's set in a table, but a couple transitions feel abrupt. Kind of like we skipped a paragraph between beats. And also character depth. And I would say this is just a pilot only issue. We start out meeting a lot of faces fast. A few of the kids' point of views feel sketched in. Me personally, I wanted at least 1 or 2 emotional anchors to land, just a little bit harder before the credits. But personally, episode 1, I loved it. But next, moving on to episode 2, The Things in the Dark. A quick overview of episode 2. Episode 2 tightens the center. The show starts clarifying who we follow and why, and also ramps up the haunting. We also see more of Derry High through Will Hanlon's eyes, which is Leroy Hanlon's son. He's a new kid in a hostile system, well, a new black kid in a hostile system, giving us a grounded coming to age thread for the supernatural to corrupt. What works for me in episode 2? The character focus improves. Will steps forward and you feel the social pressure cooker. Teachers and peers weaponizing small slights, and that daily dread dovetails nicely with the town's deeper evil. The horror rhythm in this, the second episode spaces its set pieces better. Quiet suspicion, then a sharp visual escalation. You start to feel the pattern of how Derry stalks its kids. Whispers, lures, humiliation, then teeth. And in this episode here, you start to see and feel Andy Muschietti's DNA. The camera language, slow creeps, sudden verticals, negative space is back. You can feel the same language from the two films, but repurposed for long form TV, which gives scenes time to breathe. But my neutral thoughts that could go either way for episode 2, my first one is going to be the heightened imagery. A couple of visions, manifestations dance on the edge between terrifying and that's wild. The ambition is here. The credibility sometimes wobble depending on your tolerance. For heightened Stephen King style, nightmare logic. And also another thing is the pacing. This theory is still marinating. And like I said, I enjoy that slow dread. But if you're expecting a scare every 5 minutes, episode 2 might kind of lose you. This episode keeps his foot more on the brake on cruise control than on the gas wide open. But along in episode 2, what doesn't work just yet, one thing is going to be the slide plot drift. The military base subplot, it remains interesting but still a little disconnected from the main story. And if it links cleanly to Derry's history, great. But right now, it occasionally pulls focus into different directions, but occasionally it pulls focus into different genres for stretches. And another thing that doesn't work just yet is going to be the emotional depth. We're slowly getting there. We're getting there. But a couple family dynamics and friend group bonds, that way when the inevitable do hits, it stings a little harder. But between episode 1 and episode 2 for me right now, I'm got Derry at an 8.5 to a 9. And like I say, if it keeps this up, man, we might be looking at the greatest show ever. Overall, I'm in. The show captures the feeling of Derry. It's a pretty surface with rot underneath, while also building a myth arc that respects the films, along while letting TV pacing do its thing. I love the 60s texture, the willingness to get grisly, and how it weaponizes ordinary spaces. But what I need next moving forward is going to be 3 things. Either 1 or 2 kids locked as our emotional spine, which I think we're getting at with a couple of them. Just stay consistent. Cleaner handoffs between the grounded story and the bigger mysteries. And last but not least, a cleaner structure between Pennywise manipulation across the town's power structures. And like I mentioned, you can catch these shows every week on HBO Max. They release, I believe, every Sunday. They've been changing it for the first 2 episodes. 1 episode was on a Sunday, and I believe the next episode was like on a Friday, I believe, on Halloween. But just be on the lookout every week on HBO Max. But if you made it this far into the video, I highly appreciate you. Go ahead and give me a like if you haven't already, and subscribe on your way out. It greatly helps the channel. And let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Welcome to Derry if you've seen it. And if you haven't seen it, what the hell are you doing? But that's going to be it for the video. Be sure to follow for any more movie news, reviews, or anything of that nature, because it's possible. If you've seen it, I've seen it too.